Hello my soul family, how are you all? Hope you're all doing great, happy and healthy. So today in this video we are going to discuss about a core inner child wound which is called as abandonment. Okay, so this is a very important topic. If you did not understand anything, please again watch this video, and it is a very important core wound. It is very important for you all to heal all your core wounds. If you heal all your core wounds, then it means that you have done a lot of healing on yourself. Okay, inner child plays a very important role. Healing your inner child wounds is very important, because if you did not heal your inner child wounds, it keeps on playing in your life. Okay, it shapes up your personality. So that is why it is very important to heal your inner child wounds. And first of all, identify your inner child wounds. This video, all the videos which I'm making now and in future will help you identify these wounds. And okay, what are the inner child wounds and what are the core inner child wounds? Okay, first of all, identify these wounds and also try to understand them. Try to see which wound is there in your life, which wound is playing out in your life, and try to heal that. Okay, so before starting to tell about abandonment, I want to give you an example for movie. I will suggest you all to definitely, if you have time, please go and watch this movie called Dear Zindagi, because this movie I felt is a very important movie. I saw this movie maybe 1.5 year back. At that time I was healing my own inner child issues. I was totally triggered by so many things, and I was trying to do my inner child healing. And at that time I saw this movie. I thought suddenly I saw this movie and I realized so many things, and I healed so many things from this out of this movie. Okay, so this movie beautifully portrayed so many things, so many, it pointed out, it kept all the things, it shaped all the inner child wounds beautifully, and they portrayed it very beautifully in this movie. So Alia Bhatt, the lead in this movie, and she has so many inner child wounds. Okay, she has issues with the mother. She has abandonment issue, and her parents leaves her in childhood, and she grows up all her life. She bees all her life with her grandparents, and then she meets Shah Rukh Khan, who is a psychiatrist, and he helps her in overcoming all these things. And then she have the relationship issues also, and she feels afraid of making relationship with other people, right? So there's so many examples of so many inner child wounds which have been portrayed in this movie, but I want to take a particular wound which I felt was very much resonated, and also this was there in my life. So that is why I am going to talk about this one particularly in my video, because you might have a different inner child wound which is there in the movie, but if you watch this movie, you will understand which wound you have, which inner child wound you have, and which one is playing out like the story, like the same like that of the Alia Bhatt. Okay, she has so many like different things, different issues, and those things keeps playing out in her life, in her adult life. Okay, whatever she experienced in as a child, all those things plays out in her adult life. So you can watch that movie and identify by yourself what is your wound, and by which scene you're resonating with, so that you can easily identify that, and you can easily help yourself to heal that. Okay, so my particular scene was that she when she talks with her mother, when she communicates with her mother always she cooks something different only. She doesn't even know that what she likes. Okay, what Alia Bhatt likes, and she was never bothered, and she assumes things. Okay, she assumes things, and she thinks about the family, but in particular she didn't know what are the likes of Alia Bhatt, and she somehow fails to understand her as a child also, as an adult also. Somewhere that thing triggers her, that thing gives Alia Bhatt more pain, and that thing makes her wounded from within. Okay, so that was an issue, and she like the family members keep on pouring their own opinions and on her, and they never bother to ask her what's going within her emotionally. Okay, emotional, there was some kind of emotional absence from her family members, and all that things, all that emotional wounding keeps on accumulating, and it becomes a very big wound, and that keeps on playing in her adult life, right? So that thing was there. and she feels like nobody is, nobody is understanding her, and there is no one whom she can rely on emotionally, right? They were providing her everything whatever she wants, and they are all the comforts around her, but there was this emotional absence, there was this lack of emotional support, there was this, somewhere the bond between the mother and daughter wasn't right. So there was some kind of disturbance, and the terms were not good between the Alia Bhatt and her mother. So the same thing was happening in my life also. So because of all these things, she her bitterness within, the bitterness within her grows, and it keeps on growing, and she from the soul becomes very bitter, and then that she carries that bitterness for very long, and she couldn't live peacefully, and that peace thing was completely erased from her life. She couldn't live peacefully, she couldn't sleep peacefully. She suffers from insomnia, and she cannot be a calm person, she cannot be a normal person. Then she goes to a psychiatrist, and who is Shahrukh Khan, and then he explains her that all these things are happening, what she explains her life to him, and he advises her to forgive her mother, because she forgive her parents, and she starts to imply those things in whatever advices Shahrukh Khan gives. She starts to imply those things in her life, okay? Before, she used to carry a lot of bitterness, and he explains her very beautifully that whatever they could do in their own situation in that point of time in their life, they have done it. It's not their mistakes, because they couldn't do that much better, they could do only that much for her, okay? So that is not their fault then, and don't he advises her not to be angry upon her parents, and not to be angry at life, okay? He asks her to forgive everybody, he asks her to forgive her parents, because there is no point in holding on to that bitterness. That bitterness is only killing her own self, right? That bitterness is only spoiling her, okay? All the people around her are same as it is, they are not going to change, but what is happening is she is spoiling her own life, and she is becoming more and more depressed, right? So that is why he tries to help her, he tries to heal her, and she also listens to him very nicely, like an obedient student, and she tries to forgive her mother, and she goes and she buys a bouquet to her mother, and she gives to her mother and hugs her, and their bond between them becomes normal, and then she starts to enjoy life. She removes that bitterness from her, which was carrying from a long time, since her childhood, right? So what happens is, due to many reasons, due to so many reasons, whatever had happened to us, especially the star seed kids, okay, our life is not a normal life, it is a very different life, okay? So we people keep on hurting us, people keep on doing certain things which they shouldn't do, right? On a bigger level also, and it hurts us, we feel this emotional absence and from people, and we need emotional support, and it wasn't provided anytime, and during a childhood, and we always feel a little bit lonely, even with a lot of people, right? Even with so many people around us, we still feel lonely, right? We feel better when we are alone, but we feel very lonely with people. I don't know why. It happens with me. If it happens with you also, please put it down in the comment section below, so that I can know that these things are happening with you also. So what I always felt is, when I'm alone, I enjoy my own company, I'm very nice, I'm very happy, and when I'm with people, my all trouble starts, okay? So I don't feel comfortable with people, with humans especially, because they keep on doing something which I don't like, they keep on triggering, they keep on hurting, they keep on throwing negativity and all these things, right? So that's why I always kept things to myself. That's why I always started to live by myself, be alone, and all those kinds of things, because I felt that people aren't understanding me, okay? So that kind of thing, okay? And so it started with the inner child wound which we were carrying, because the relationship with a mother is she's a first contact, right? The relationship with a mother shapes all our other relationships also. It is a very 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 important relationship. Lucky people are those who have a very nice mother daughter bonding, but starseeds are more luckier than normal people. That's why we face challenges, okay? So that's the thing. So the first contact, if it is not proper, if it is very imbalanced kind of relationship, then that shows up in our life, that effect shows up in our life, that effect shows up in different relationships also in our life, okay, that shapes a personality. So it is very important to identify your relationship with your mother. It is very very important how your relationship with your mother is, and how what kind of inner child wound you have. If you have abandonment wound, if you have neglect wound, if you have rejection wound, if you have judgment wound, I will talk about all these wounds in my future videos. Please do watch all those videos also, okay. So first, identify the relationship, how, what kind of relationship you had, what are the things which triggered you, where you are unable to forgive your mother, where at what point you hold that bitterness within you, which scene in your childhood had you have remembered for long, and which scene is still there in your heart, which is creating bitterness, okay. Identify that scene, identify that memory, okay, trigger that memory within you, and then start healing that, okay, start healing it. And if you face abandonment issue, abandonment means abandonment doesn't also always mean physical, right? It can also be emotional, okay. When you need that emotional support, if people are not there with you emotionally, that can also lead to an abandonment wound, okay. It doesn't have to be necessarily physical, okay. Physical abandonment is also there, like which is shown in that movie, but there is also different kind of abandonment, like emotional abandonment. If you need that emotional, warmth from your mother during your childhood phase, and you did not get it, that can also lead to an abandonment issue, okay. And if you need any emotional support and you did not get it, that can also lead to an abandonment issue. Then if you need some some, if you went to your mother, by smiling happily and nicely, and showing something, showing your report card, progress card, that you were a first ranker in your school and all those things, and nobody bothered, and your parents did not bother, and your mother did not bother, and she just shooed you off, and she did not even give it a congratulations, or she did not even give a smile on face, or all those things are there. If those things are there, and she did not even bother, and she was busy with her own stuff, and that can also lead to an abandonment issue, because with that thing, you will feel that you are not good enough. Whatever you have done, your achievements are not recognized, right? So you will feel that you are not good enough, you are not a perfectionist, and in later in life, you will always strive for that perfectionism, and you will become a perfectionist. You want to learn everything, you want to achieve everything, you will become that kind of a person, and it will lead to lots and lots of burden, trust me. So you don't have to be a perfectionist, and you don't have to bother about that abandonment which happened in the childhood, okay. So let that go, let all that bitterness dissolve, okay. So if you did not get any appreciation, and you got shooed off, and if you did not get any value which you wanted during your childhood, and if you did not get any comfort and warmth, and in that motherly love of being there for you, then that can also lead has an abandonment wound, okay. So all these will give rise to abandonment wound. I had gave so many examples about abandonment, and by these things you can figure out if you have an abandonment issue or not. And if you have abandonment issue, then please, it will take a lot of time, I know, but trust me, it will be worth it. It is one of the core wounds of the inner child, and it is very important to heal this issue, otherwise it will play out in your life somewhere or the other, okay. So please heal this issue, forgive your parents, whoever it is, from whomever you have got this abandonment issue, because they didn't know how to do it. They don't know the parenting properly, and it's not their mistake. Maybe their parents did not do it properly, and they have learned the same thing, okay. So we don't have to blame anybody, just put off that blaming game, and try to understand things from your own perspective, because they are not awakened, you are awakened, right? You have the awakening, they are not yet awakened. They don't have that much consciousness to understand things from the background, but you have, right? So you do have that thing, you do have the capability to see the things behind the scenes, okay. So you have the capability to see and observe things, what is running behind the scenes. So watch the movie from behind, watch the movie from the lens of behind the scenes, and understand how it got created, how the scene got created, why she is acting the way she is acting, okay. So understand things from a bigger perspective, from an observer point of view, and then let that go, dissolve that bitterness, heal that wound for your own peace and happiness, okay. Let that go, and try to at least be in peace within your heart, and try to at least even now, if your relationship with your mother is not that good, first try to understand yourself, first try to heal yourself, then think about her later, think about her behavior later. But at least you have to be in that balanced state to tackle the situation the next time. Okay, so be in that position to handle the situation in a balanced way. Try to do it again and again. This time you have tried to handle it in a balanced way, and the things are happening in the same way, and again the things were ruined. Okay, it's okay. Okay, try to do a little more healing, and try to fix the things a little more in a balanced way for the next time. Even if the person is not changing, then it's okay, leave them and let that go. You have to be unaffected with whatever is happening. You have to be unaffected because you have already got affected with a lot of wounds and lot of triggers, and lot of stuff already happened with you, and you have to heal yourself such that now you should be unaffected with the circumstances and situations. Whoever is triggering you, whoever is wounding you, you should not take that. Okay, you should be in that level. So to reach to that level, you have to heal yourself nicely. So do the healing more and more, then you will reach to that level. We all will reach to that level where we will be unaffected with the wounds people are trying to give us. Okay, so at least if we are in that much of balance, then our life is set. Okay, so this was abandonment issue, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for listening.